We currently have a potentially significant flash flooding threat starting to unfold across the southwest. This flash flooding threat could continue for the next few days. I'll go over what can be expected by these two tropical systems bringing very torrential downpours into the southwest, and then storms in the Atlantic, one of which has just broken a record. I'll go over all of this in this video. The TVF cyclone Friday, October 10th, 2025, starting with Tropical Storm Priscilla. It is still a tropical storm, but it should dissipate very soon. It is currently bringing rain into the southwest, Southern California, Arizona, parts of Nevada, like Las Vegas is almost in the kind of worst of it. They're pretty close, and then Utah, and then parts of Colorado and New Mexico. The flash flooding threat for today, it is currently, yesterday it was upgraded to a 3 out of 4 flash flooding threat. That has been expanded into Utah. It was previously just in Arizona. It's now been expanded into Utah. Looking at the radar and watches and warnings, north of Phoenix, pretty far north of Phoenix, considerably north, there is a flash flood warning. This is radar indicated. The threat is considerable. Rain will likely be falling for the next 5+ hours. This expires in 5 hours anyway. And then this other flash flood warning is gauge indicated. A rain gauge has picked up very significant flood or rain totals. I don't know if it says how many. I can't find how much rain it's saying, but these are just the first two of likely many flash flood warnings, and then we could even see a few flash flood emergencies to come. This next system, Tropical Storm Raymond, it currently has 60-mile-an-hour sustained winds. The spaghetti models show it going into the same spot, almost the same spot, maybe going more into New Mexico rather than Arizona. And then if we look at the day 3 outlook for flash flooding, the day 2, first of all, it continues into tomorrow, and then the Outer Banks of North Carolina under a level 2 out of 4 flash flood threat from a nor'easter that's hitting. That 2 out of 4 flash flood threat from the nor'easter moves up to the northeast, and then from Raymond, I think, Monday? It starts to unfold from Raymond on Monday, and then it just continues. So 2 consecutive tropical remnants bringing torrential downpours to the southwest of the United States. I will be monitoring this situation very closely. Could be very dangerous. Tropical Storm Jerry currently has 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds and is no longer forecast to be a hurricane. It weakened overnight, surprisingly, but I wasn't totally sure yesterday if it would become a hurricane because the pressure did start to rise pretty considerably. Now it's down to 50 miles an hour. However, it is forecast to strengthen a little bit, back to 60 miles an hour, then turn away from Bermuda, take a hard right turn, go off into the Atlantic, and then should dissipate by Wednesday. And then finally, Subtropical Storm Karen. It developed last night at 44.5 degrees north. It says 44.3, but I read that it was 44.5 degrees north. This is the furthest development from the equator of any tropical cyclone ever recorded. And records go back to 1851, so this is a pretty significant event. Furthest from the equator. Storms don't usually happen up here because the waters are too cold and there's typically a lot of wind shear. However, this system did end up developing. The previous record holder was a Tropical Storm 5. It did not have a name because the National Hurricane Center or whatever was monitoring at the time, this was 1952, did not pick up on it, but naming did start in 1950. But there were no satellites back then to pick up storms like these, so these storms mostly went unnoticed. But now with satellites, thankfully, we can see new storms that pop up. Starting with the GFS forecast model, I want to start with Jerry. They show it strengthening maybe into a major hurricane. I highly doubt that's going to happen. And then they show another system following it. They are the only forecast model saying that. And then going further out in time, they show a system developing in the Caribbean. I'm not totally sure if that's going to happen quite yet. I will be monitoring it. The GFS has kind of been saying this same thing, a system or two developing in the Caribbean late October. For the past few days, the European forecast model, they don't show that. They also don't go out far enough. But the European AI model, they do show maybe a system developing in the Caribbean if we go all the way out in time. They show it maybe developing near Nicaragua, Honduras, and then we'll see how strong it gets if this even happens. I'm not totally sure if this is going to happen. And then a front could come through and pick it up to the north, somewhere in this area. So the Gulf Coast, just keep an eye out for later this month. The National Hurricane Center isn't even monitoring anything, but be sure you're getting updates on my videos. And I'll be monitoring all of this for you guys. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching and see ya.